Hi guys, it's me, Doc J. Welcome to the second episode of Africa is Us. Hashtag total shutdown. Hashtag me too. No means no. Ring a bell? Well, stay tuned. Today we will be talking about the very sensitive subject matter, sexual violence. So hold on to your sneakers, guys. This is going to be a sensitive episode. We're going to be looking at sexual violence today within Africa and also South Africa. We're also going to be looking at a few examples of some things that have helped curb sexual violence in other countries and what we as South Africans are doing to assist our women in this country. Now, of course, this comes at the back of the most harrowing story within this Women's Month. The suicide of Kensani Maseko, a Rhodes University student who committed suicide allegedly because of the rape she had endured from her boyfriend in May. This is shocking and sad. A young, beautiful life wasted because of something that we as a society should be able to address. This during Women's Month, a month that we are supposed to be celebrating women, celebrating the uniqueness that they bring to this world. What can be more terrifying? What can be more upsetting than that? Unfortunately, we can name a few victims: Karabo Mokoena, Valencia Farmer, Anene Boysen, Riva Steenkamp, to name but a few. We know these names due to the publicity it received. But let me tell you, the real names and the real tragedy is those that have not yet been named. Those that endure these horrifying acts and don't even report it, that suffer alone and in silence. You have to know that the statistics say 1 in 4 women have reported some kind of physical abuse over the age of 18. 4 out of 10 separated or divorced women report some form of sexual or physical violence. Police statistics recently said that 109.1 rapes are committed and reported per day in South Africa. Now listen, there have been many to's and fro's about this police statistics. Some saying that it cannot be trusted, others saying that it was only a small case or a small point that was investigated within the country. But nonetheless, the stats remain equally disturbing. 109 rapes per day? Really? And that does not even include the number of cases that go unreported. Due to fear from victims, due to shame, due to the thoughts that say, well, you know what? Who's going to believe me? If somebody believes me, how can I hide this shame that I feel? Now, recently we have witnessed the marches hashtag total shutdown. About time, if you ask me. My concern with this really just is thank you. Thank you for everybody that participated in this. Thank you for standing up. Thank you for saying no. But is it helping us? Is it helping us? Is it making a difference? I mean, the crowd was addressed by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, let's not be haters, guys. Give him kudos. The president came out, he spoke to the women, he expressed his respect for women and the fact that this is an epidemic that needs to be addressed in society. So what made it cringeworthy to me? Well, that would be the last part of his speech, in which he said that we need to do something about this, but men don't have the answers. Women do. And we should give women a voice. Now, Is this helpful or is this a cop-out? Because for me, it seems like we're saying, you know what? The victims who've been traumatized, who've been through these harrowing events, who've lived through it, they should have the answers. It's not the perpetrators. Men don't have the answers. So we're opening up this platform and saying, yes, let's discuss. Let's acknowledge you. But we don't have the answers. We don't know how to fix this. To me, this is completely unacceptable. The only way we're going to address this once and for all is if men and women come together, sit around the table, talk about these issues, and come up with a solution together. We cannot be on different sides of the fence with this issue. We can't have men on the one side saying, you know what, we acknowledge you, but we don't have the answers, we've done our part. And women on the other side saying, help us, something is going wrong, but we also don't have the answers. Nobody obviously has the answers. We need to sit together and we need to make a plan as to how we're going to address this. We need to stop things from happening that lead us into celebration months like this month for women. And then we kick it off with a heartbreaking suicide that could have been prevented. So I did some research into this, and as usual, you can check out my comment box below and be sure to look at some of these videos that I've posted, especially from Kenya. I think these are pretty interesting. What has been done in Kenya is really amazing. Their sexual violence stats were equally harrowing. What they've done is no means no worldwide. This is basically a program that has been initiated in secondary schools where boys and girls attend physical training to avoid sexual violence. So this is not a lecture. This is not a nice speech given to girls and boys. It really gets down to business, and it says, look, we need to teach girls how to defend themselves. And again, check out these videos. They literally teach girls self-defense along with boys so that both genders can understand. First of all, this is wrong. Second of all, if it happens, what can I as a victim do? And what should the perpetrator expect is going to happen? It teaches boys to not only respect girls, but respect the viewpoint that they can actually do something to avoid an act of sexual violence. It also teaches them to empower girls, to also empower themselves to be able to defend against these acts. Now, since they've launched this specific curriculum in schools, they've seen a 40% reduction in rape. 40%. Now, how's that for action? Why can we not employ something similar in South Africa and in other African schools for that matter? I mean, total shutdown was not just a march in South Africa. It was also carried out in Lesotho and other African countries, including Namibia on that day. So we can stand together. The program has been developed. The results are there. The people that have put it through the training wheels are there to assist. Why can we not tap into this network and make it work for all of us? This is what we should be doing. Telling a victim or a possible victim of rape or sexual violence to avoid certain situations, avoid certain places, avoid going out at night, avoid staying late at the library. That's not helping anything. That's basically telling a girl or a woman, you know what, there are certain things in life that you just can't do. Because if you do it, then you have a greater chance of being raped or being subjected to an act of sexual violence. Yes, we can argue that at least in some shape or form, it is a preventative measure. But this cannot be the permanent resolution we have to this. We need to change this thinking of society, and you cannot change that if you don't speak to both genders. We can't change this epidemic If we're sitting on other sides of the fence, we need to come together as men, as women, and speak about these issues clearly, succinctly, and honestly. We need to face the brutal facts. We need to call for the implementation of these types of programs in our schools. Empower, empower, empower. That is what the women need. That is what girls need. That's what our university students need. What are they supposed to do when they are confronted with this brutal act? They need to know how to defend themselves. That, I would say, is one side of the coin. We also need help for these ladies. They don't always want to identify themselves. They don't always want this to become a public issue. But regardless of that, they still need trauma counseling. Do we really have the right trauma counseling in place for our students, for our young girls? I'm not saying one clinic that caters for all, that is available, that does exist on campus. I'm saying a really, really safe zone where they know they can go, where they know that they will find help, even if they want to stay anonymous, even if they don't want to report it, just to emotionally deal with this. So yes, I support #shutdown. Yes, I commend our president for coming out and facing the crowds and giving the respect due to women. But I don't agree that men don't have the answers. I don't agree that it's just that easy to step out of this conversation and say, listen, we're giving you the platform, you come up with the solutions. No, this is not how it's going to work. I'm saying we should all get around the same table and we should have these important conversations. Let's incorporate these type of programs in our schools. Let's incorporate good therapeutic facilities for these girls and women that go through these heinous acts. Let's build a society, both men and women, who know how to respect women and who understand why we should all be respected as human beings. Let's forge forward on this. We cannot be silent on this issue and we cannot have a cop-out. We need to address it head on. So from me, it's #total shutdown, #MeToo, #let's do something, we all have the answers. Let me know what you think about this episode. Share your comments. Do you think that this is a good program to employ in South Africa and other African schools? What do you think of the reduction rate in rape after Kenya employed this in their secondary schools? What do you think about the comment made by President Cyril Ramaphosa that men don't have the answers? Let me know and let's have an open conversation. Remember, if we're not going to be invited to the conversation, let's build our own platform. So, your views, your choices, your platform. See you next time on Africa is Us. Thanks for watching. Ciao.